Hello everyone, this is Helena and that's Kelly. Welcome to Speaker Insight, where we help speakers, authors and coaches to build a business on your terms. And if you've never joined us before, we do a What's the Buzz in Our Business, which is always a good thing for you to do for your business as well, because actually taking stock of what's happened and what you're doing to progress your own business is always a good idea. So, hi Joe. I'm probably not going to say hello to everybody as you go, but as always, we'll give a little wave when we see you appear. So the buzz in our business is, oh gosh, Saturday I had the most amazing, it's really important for people to continue to do their learning as you go. And I actually went to a fantastic talk, all-day talk called Generating Wealth Beyond Your Job on, which is just amazing, on Saturday, and have come away with lots and lots of gems that I'm sure will filter into all of the teachings that we do. On top of that, we've actually been really busy creating a whole bunch of resources as a result of the poll that we asked a little while ago. Last week we gave, in the last Facebook Live that we did a comparison chart, a CRM comparison chart. So if you haven't watched that live, or you would love to have hold of that, go and have a look at that. And we've got one for you this week as well, because, that's the kind of...
We like to give.
We do. We love to give, which is a really good thing. And finally, even though Kelly didn't necessarily agree that this was a buzz in our business, but I do, because of course I'm very much centered on how do we keep you being you as much as possible so you can go out and share your message. And part of that is actually having a holiday now and then. And Kelly went on holiday and it was nearly tech free, which is really quite amazing. So that's really the buzz in our business. I'm going to hand over to Kelly, because this Facebook Live is really a source of much love for you, isn't it?
Yeah, much love and experience, I'd
Yes.
say. I've just put in the comments as well, guys, about joining us in the Connection Hub. So those resources that Helena said that we're putting together, the CRM comparison, the one that's going out today, we're going to be putting them all in our Facebook group. So if you're not part of us, join the link. I've just put it in our comments. I'll pin that to the comment as well, and then you guys can see that. So what we want to cover today is, as Helena said, we did do a poll maybe 2 or 3 weeks
ago,
saying what do you want us to cover on our Facebook Lives, and the number one, which I'm not surprised about, is how to get more speaking gigs.
Yeah.
Now this is a huge topic, so what we've done is broken it down into 2 sections. One, how to get free speaking gigs, so how to speak on other people's stages, and we will be doing another one about how to get paid corporate gigs
In about 3 weeks' time.
Yeah, we've got all of our Facebook schedules until the end of May, so yeah, we know when we're doing stuff,
Which is really exciting for us.
So this one we're going to concentrate predominantly on how to get the free speaking gigs, where to find them, how to go about securing them. And if you hang on to the end,
Yes.
we have the resource for you where we've been eagerly beavering away, and we've created a spreadsheet directory for you for over 200 platforms which you can download to actually say, well, these are the keywords, these are the conferences, the expos, the speaking stages, the networking events that you could potentially start to actually get some free speaking gigs and do. So we've taken the hard work out of this for you.
It's been a lot of this.
So we've got that resource that we're going to give to you at the end as a download, but we want to take you through the Facebook Live today about why you should be doing free speaking gigs, and then how to secure them. So they're the 2 parts that we're going to cover today.
Yeah.
So the main thing, I think, following on really from what we did 2 or 3 Facebook Lives ago about having a show reel, the feedback we got from you guys is that actually you didn't have enough footage to put a show reel together, or enough high quality footage to put a show reel together. And because show reels are so important they're important in getting you speaking gigs, free or paid, but they're a great resource for marketing, showcasing, positioning yourself.
Agreed.
So I think it's a really good thing, and as we showed you on the Facebook Live that week, hardly anyone's got a really good show reel. So if you can put something together, then you're going to stand out anyway in the first place. So that's my first reason for why you should be doing promotional, as I call them, speaking gigs, because you can go to the event organizer and say, okay, in exchange for me speaking for free, can I have access to the high quality footage, audio, video that you've got from this gig, and for me to be able to use that for my own promotional purposes. So that might be one reason why you want to do free speaking gigs. The second reason, which is a really popular one, is because you want to be building your database size. So emails, even though we do so much on social media now, email isn't dead yet, right? So we still highly value getting somebody's email address for the way that you actually have that direct communication straight into their inbox. But also, if you've got their email address, you can create a Facebook lookalike profile of those types of people on Facebook and target ads at them. And there's a lot more you can do with someone's email address rather than just send them an email.
Yeah.
So if you're at that stage where you want to build your business, or you've been working in corporate land and you want to, hello flowers, and you want to come over to the SME land, which I know a lot of speakers that I'm working with are currently doing, then you're like, okay, I've got lots of data and lots of email addresses of people that are in corporate land, but I don't have anybody in the SME world. How do I actually build a database of my new avatar, my new ideal client?
Yeah.
Well, getting a speaking gig in exchange for getting their data. And that, with GDPR, I know we're going to cover a GDPR Facebook Live, but with the fact that you don't want to just get the list from the event organizer, because those people haven't actually opted in unless it's in the event's terms and conditions. Yeah. Ideally, you want your audience to want to be part of your database. Yeah. So when you're on stage and you're giving a keynote and you're giving loads of value, you want the audience, who are your ideal clients, to have that opportunity to actually come into your world and stay connected with you. So on stage, you might want to use a software, a platform called Text Local. I use that quite a lot. Do you want to just put that in the comments?
I will do.
Text Local is where you can be doing a keynote from stage, and you just say text Kelly or Speaker Insight to whatever the 5-digit number that they've given you, and that then automatically, when someone gets their phone out and texts that word to that number, they go straight into your email CRM system, and then you can start communicating with them. It's like opt-in series for you. So that's a really good way of doing a keynote and getting them into your database, so you can build a relationship with them and sell to them and keep them in your community from doing the speaking gig. So it's a really good thing to think about those first two reasons. You want to do promotional speaking gigs to get high quality video and audio footage, and you want to get the email addresses from your ideal audience, so you can start building a database of your own from these big gigs.
And there's a couple of additional things that, almost from an inner perspective, and again, some of you, we have so many different levels of experience within the Connection Hub and within the people who are looking at us on Speaker Insights. So to one of those of you, sort of as Kelly said, it might be that you've been doing this for ages, but you don't have enough material that's recorded. For others, one of the reasons that you might want to do one of these types of gigs is that you might want to test out a new avenue, a new subject matter or topic that you've actually been speaking about that's aligned to what you're known for already, or that actually you're entirely new to your speaking career and you simply want to gain the confidence to get up on a stage and speak to 10 people, 20 people, 30 people. Because of course, it's the practice, that whole 10,000 hours thing. It's the practice of doing it that allows you to get more and more confident. But also, it allows you to get the feedback. It allows you to test out your material. Where do I deliver it well? What's landing? What's not landing for them? And really get a feel for what the skills are that you're using, what the skills are that you might need to do some development on. And as I say, feedback is the king of all. So the more that you can actually do, the easier it is for you to feedback on you, but also for others to feedback on you. So for me, that's absolutely, from an inner confidence perspective, get out and speak, so that you get the experience, and the more experience you have, the easier it is for you to start to hone not only how you do it, but more importantly, one of the key things that we talk about is the positioning and the messaging that you're actually sharing out there, so you know what's landing. Because I don't know about you, but whenever you think, oh, this is really great and I must tell it to people, and it goes flat, and you go, huh? What happened there? Is just like, oh no. And but on top of that, then you kind of deliver something that's almost a throwaway, and people go,
that was
wow,
awesome.
That's amazing. I had one of those happen way back. I put up a holding slide. I actually had it as a holding slide, and it's something that we now use all the time, because it took 2 hours of the workshop. It actually was taken up just on that one holding slide. I'll hold back
Yeah,
on
I
that.
was gonna say, yeah.
There's an intrigue frame for you. If you want to know, you can put it in the comments for us. There you go. And then I might well share what that was. But the second thing is you might also have, at the end of your talk, a call to action of some sort. It might well simply be something that they can get from you and that adds them to the database, but it might be something of real value, like a course, or if you've got an agreement that it's allowed for you to promote a service or a product. This free speaking gig might actually be one of the most lucrative things that you could possibly do. And in fact, actually, the talk that I went to, the Generating Wealth Beyond Your Job, the key element that they actually do, they say yes to these two people run 7 multi-million-pound businesses, and they still say yes to free gigs because they know that they have a whole repertoire of stuff that actually they can offer and really get sales as a direct result.
And that is, and as a side note, some of you who are speakers, that might be your business model.
Agreed.
So it might be that you don't become a professional speaker where you just get paid 5-10 grand a keynote, because when you do that, you don't sell at the end of it as well. You get paid for the speaking gig. But your business model might be set up that actually you go around doing promotional gigs, and actually you then take the commission from what's sold from your direct sales from selling, and that's another art form in itself.
Yeah.
I've worked with Joanna Martin, who's been awesome at helping my speakers construct a speech to sell and how you see things through it. She's a great woman, great resource, and that is an art form in itself, is speaking to sell from stage. So we can probably cover that.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, the chances are that you're interested in watching this live, because you're either wanting to or you have already done some promotional speaking gigs. So we'd love to know from you. Pop them into here. Put a great big yes, I'm interested, or yes, I've done that and I'm doing more of it. Because we'd love to know what proportion of you are actually doing that. Yeah. Partly with the little gift in mind that we've got later on. Now, if you know that if you've now gone, these are definitely for me, what am I actually going to do? We've got some steps. So this is the bit where if you haven't already gone to get pen and paper, by now most of you probably have, you know us well enough, go get that now, because we've got 4 steps for you with lots of questions that would allow you to actually get those gigs on other people's stages. So I'm going to hand over to Kelly for step 1.
Michelle's got some couple of comments just before I do that. She said it's all about the audience. If the audience is right, it's worth a free gig. God, and she's got one on Thursday. CEO Roundtable.
Nice. Well done, hun.
Good to see you, Brett. Enjoy. Brett, I know Brett's just been caught up, so he's arriving a bit late. You haven't missed much, don't worry, Brett. It's all good. You're at the right part.
Yeah. I'm saying hi to Rishi because I haven't seen her for ages. So, hi.
So let's go into how do we get these gigs. So the thing that we've done, taken the headache for you, is this free resource that we're giving you at the end. So we've put together 200 different types of speaking platforms for you to download as a directory at the end of this. So what I want to cover in this bit is actually what you do with that directory. Yeah. Now we're not saying that's the be all and end all, and that's the only directory,
isn't.
Right?
In fact, the words. This is a non-exhaustive list, and there's even space for you to add your own at the bottom.
Yeah. And that's what we want to do. We want to give you just some ideas of what's out there, because especially people that haven't spoken before don't even know what's a potential opportunity. Yeah. But what I would love for you to do is this first step, and it's essential, right? And I think no matter what Facebook Live I talk about knowing your audience, right? It's the key thing.
It is.
With everything you do as a speaker, author, or coach, you need to know who you're serving, who you're doing this for. And the reason for this one is because you actually need to know your keywords. Keywords are so important with this first step when you're doing your own research. And when you think about your keywords, you've got to think, okay, what keywords would describe my audience, my avatar, my ideal client? Yeah. How would I describe them? What are the pain points that they're in? Always know them as keywords or key phrases. And then you've got to think about, well, what do you speak about? What's your niche? What's your topic? What's your area? Because if you then know those 3 things, you know what to type into Google. Because Google is your friend, right? Google's going to tell you all the answers. That's just what we sat down for a few days putting this directory together for you, by knowing some places to go to, but also doing a lot of Google research. Now, say, for example, your avatar was SMEs or entrepreneurs, and that you wanted to help them with their marketing. So marketing was a key word because that was where they're stuck. And say, for example, your specialist area was social media. I mean, we've got Michelle Carville.
I was going to say.
She's basically, I've just described your business for you.
I was like, help me, Michelle.
Even though she has got corporate clients, I know she's working a lot in the SME space. So if they were your 3 keywords of who you serve, what problem you solve, and what area you do a talking, if you start typing in that in Google and saying, okay, these are the things I want, business events for entrepreneurs on marketing or social media. When you do that, you're going to come up with things like the Business Growth Show, or the iDigital Conference, or the B2C Marketing Expo. These are all the types of things that come up and you go, oh, okay, then you click on it and you find out when it is, where it is, how many people are there, what's the requirements, do they have speakers or is it just stands, and all these types of things. It takes time.
Yes, it
right?
does.
I am not denying this is just boring admin time. We've taken a lot of the hard work out if we put 200 down for you, but I want you to keep on adding this and making it bespoke for yourself. Because once you do the work once, the majority of these places have annual conferences, monthly events, and then you know that this is something you can go back to and speak yearly, monthly, whatever it is that's going to suit you. You've got to know these key words of who your audience is, what you talk about, how you serve them, and what their problem is.
Yeah. And so then, so step 2 very much is then related to that, which is once you've decided on actually these are the 4, maybe you'll use the list and you go, oh, I'm really attracted to this, this and this because that sounds in the ballpark for where my keywords might be. Then you'll have to have a research list of your own around, is this actually the right event for me? Is this, aligned to who I am and what I stand for? Can I offer value to these people's audiences? So here comes the kind of list of researchy type questions that I would love to offer you. So have a look at previous conferences. Who have they had speak before? What sort of topics have people spoken on before? Do you fit into that or do you not? Because actually it might well be that you can offer a different perspective that you might need to sell into them. If the audience is right for you, you'll notice that I keep coming back to Kelly's point, which is the audience right for you? Because of course you want to be able to progress for whatever reason you are actually doing it. See our previous little bit. Then who is the events manager? Who is the person that you need to get to know that actually will book you or at least point you in the right direction? So you'll need to get to know that person and connect with them, whether that's reaching out on LinkedIn, whether that's actually connecting direct via the actual website. Again, do your research around it. The other thing is, how big are the audiences? Now, it might be a conference like, sort of the Business Growth Show is massive, really, really big thing. And they have workshop breakout spaces. So, they have auditoriums of 100 people or more. And they also have smaller kind of places where you can do a 20-minute talk or a half-hour thing for 20 to 30 people. So don't be put off by the size of something. And likewise, sort of whether that's moving up or down in that sense. You'll find a space that's right for you. So check it out with yourself. What space and what size of audience am I looking for the reason that I'm actually wanting to get the gig? Then there's the where's it held? Is it going to cost you to get there? Is it going to be worth the cost, the offset of that? I'm always going to have my business head on, which is, sure, it's great to be invited to something, but if it's going to cost you, and by cost I don't necessarily just mean the finances, I also mean the time. If it's in Scotland, you can pretty much write off 2 days and a night in a hotel and the transport and so on and so forth. So is the benefit going to actually be worth you going there? You might well decide that it is, but that's why we're saying do the research. And then the other bit is, how often does this event take place? Is it a monthly thing? Is it an annual thing? Do they do it twice a year? Could you potentially actually go to the first one and then attend as a speaker at the next one? Because you can actually check it out beforehand, and we would really recommend that. Is it the right feel? Are they the right types of people? Double checking your information in there. So if you can go before you approach someone around it, it gives you that first hand, oh yeah, I was at this and I really liked it. And it just allows you to make the connection much more easily. And of course, the whole thing is where do you fit in their purpose for having it? You know, how can you, this is a great question to ask yourself, how can what I talk about add value to their audience? Because that's what they're looking for.
It's really funny. Adam Harris, hey Adam, I've spoken to him for ages. A lot of the CEO mastermind groups want high value content. You have to be an expert and be prepared to be challenged, but you a great place to actually give good value, as you just said. So
totally agree.
We're always saying that these places, they're going to be inundated. It's like publishers with books, right? The amount of people that they get apply all the time. Yeah. You've got to stand out, the positioning. You've got to be really good at what you do and have evidence for that, as Adam says. And also, in my opinion, you've got to care. Yeah. Right? This is the step 3. This is when I see people phone event organisers up, as Helena said, get to know who that person is. Now, the next step is actually speak to the person, right? And I always say, when you contact event organisers, the first port of call for me is always a phone call. Rather than an email, let's make it personal. Let's see if we can get in touch with that person and have a conversation. And when you do that, it's not just the transactional, hey, I've seen the Business Growth Show, I'm a speaker on this, can I speak? Yeah. And that's really like what most people do with book proposals and stuff. They just shove it down on the desk and just think people are going to look at it and take you on. Obviously, just build some rapport. Say, okay, hey, if you've been to the event before, then that's why we say if you can, visit it and say, hey, I was at the Business Growth Show last year, it was amazing, I loved the buzz, I loved the breakouts, I thought this speaker was really good. And, you know, what I thought was missing last year, and I was speaking to the audience, is that you did a lot around marketing, but actually Facebook has changed so much that I talk specifically on this area, and I really think it will benefit your audience because of the changes in the algorithms that it's going through at the moment. Yeah. So if you can do a little more of a personal approach of why you think it will be good for you to speak, but then don't be like a bull in a china shop. Just go, hey, so I'm a speaker, and I speak on various different places. How can I make your event easier next year or next month? What do you need? Because sometimes you being in this world and having access to the Connection Hub, they might say, yeah, that's great, we're actually really looking for a speaker in this niche. Do you know anyone? Yeah. And then if you can refer people in, you've already got something actually giving, which might not just be you being on stage, you're helpful to them. Right?
You're adding value simply by the nature of who you now know, and you're making their lives easier. So, you know, that question of how can I add value or how can I make this easier for someone is a really good way to do it.
And then have a conversation. Hey, I'm just using this example of you're a social media speaker. Have you had anyone speak on social media before? Or if you know that, ask them how it went down, right? Ask them, how did the audience respond? What was the feedback? Did they think that there was anything that they needed more information on that? Right. And maybe I could gear my talk around that for you to make sure that you're listening to your audience and responding to that. So have the conversation about how you can help, how you can add value, how you can build rapport, how you can find out what their needs are, and then get really clear on how to apply, right? So if you say, if I wanted to speak at your next conference, what would be the procedure? Normally they have a form you fill in. If so, then obviously get that, but then find out what to do. So who does that form go to? How long should I wait to follow up? Yes. Can I have a direct number of somebody I can follow up with? Because it might be the person you're speaking to, or it might be somebody else. Just get really clear on the procedures. And then you might say, if I've got additional information that might not be applicable on the form, aka a show reel or something, who do I send that to in addition to my application form, or can I send that to? So just get really clear on how you can stand out and make an impression on that first phone call. And if you can't get the number, then do it in an email. But just be of useful help for them, as well as asking the actual application process.
Because what that's going to leave you ready to do in terms of step 3 is actually allow you to be really prepared and positioning yourself in the way that you want to position yourself. So you want to be seen as you want to be seen, right? And so you know, if that is about sending, as Kelly says, the speaker, your show reel or your speaker bio or whatever it is that's going to allow them to choose you even quicker. Interestingly enough, one of the concepts that was offered, and I'll share from Saturday, was actually this idea of, are you the choosing one or are you the chosen one? So how are you actually showing up? What are you presenting to people in terms of your positioning that allows them to go, well, it's a no-brainer for us to pick Kelly to come and do the thing. Kelly a bit mortified. Which is really cool. So it's really about what are you going to do that helps you stay front of mind once you've had the conversation with them. So how soon are you going to follow up? You know, what are you going to put in the email that summarizes the conversation that you've just had? Yeah. How can you increase your chances of actually sending that through? In fact, I'm reminded of a fantastic, another marketeer that I know, who actually really wanted to get a particular gig at a 3,000 people conference that was going on, and she really wanted the speaking gig, and her marketing is all based around rockets and spaceships, and it was a tech conference of sorts, and she actually sent, so again it's this evaluation of what's it worth for me to do, she actually sent a thank you along in the form of because they'd have a conversation around it, in the form of a vase that was a rocket.
Nice.
Which was beautiful. It cost her about 50 quid to do this, plus about, you know, the postage or whatever it was that did it. But the resulting business that she got out of it was £23,842, we worked out.
Wow.
Which was awesome.
Okay.
So for the cost of that, you know, so now I'm not saying you should go down that length, but I'm expanding what's possible for you in terms of thinking about what could I offer that allows me to stand out and be chosen as the person who's actually going to do this. So prepare well and position yourself. That's one of the things. Also, be really clear on what is the pitch that I'm making. What is the USP? What is my unique selling point that actually is that's going to come out here? Because the way that you describe yourself, the way that you speak, the passion with which you speak about what you would love to speak about is going to stick with them as well. And they're going to get a sense of how impactful you might be on a stage of theirs, and they'll be making decisions as you have that initial conversation. And then again, as Kelly said, you know, what other value can I bring? What else can I offer that allows me to do that? Which includes, you know, can I promote that on my own social media? Can I support you in getting more people to
can
it?
I tweet about it? Can
Exactly.
I promote it?
So what can I do to be of, you know, service and generating even more within that? So those are a couple of the things from me around positioning yourself and ensuring that you stand out so that you get to be the choosing one and the chosen one.
So I know Michelle said about the CEO mastermind groups, so that she needs to find out those. So I know Adam, he actually runs a Vistage group. So do connect with Adam. You're both in the Connection Hub. Vistage are great for CEO forums worldwide. The level of speaker that you need to be though is high, right? So it's not somewhere that you start as a I've just started my speaking career, but they're great ways of accessing CEO forums and boardrooms. So do hook up Michelle and Adam. And I know Graham's also asked. I was looking. So we are going to do a thing specifically on TED Talks, Graham. I'm completely, my mind's gone blank of the guy that's in the group that trains people on how to do TEDx. He's in the Connection Hub. I'll find his name. I was just looking for him then.
Now you've got me thinking.
He's a lovely guy, but I will just hook you up, Graham, because he actually does courses, online courses, and mastermind groups on how to get TED Talks. I know.
Oh my god!
Anyway, so we'll do one on there. So this is the last step, guys, in the actual how to get these gigs, and it's one that a lot of people miss out because they think, oh, free speaking gig, I don't need a contract. That's where you go wrong, okay? Yes. So again, this is getting you used to the habit of using contracts because they are essential for both paid and free speaking gigs. Yeah. And the reason why you want it in a free speaking gig are for the following reasons. So if you do have access and you're doing the gig for the show reel, like we said at the first stage, it might be the fact that you need to, well, I would have in the contract that you have access to their AV or video or photographic footage at the end, because when it's in your contract, they have to give that to you. I probably am still following up. I think Rich spoke at one in Monte Carlo a couple of months ago, and we're still following up on video footage. So it's in the contract but that doesn't mean that they're going to be quick and a turnaround for it. So, but it means that you've got more likely of getting it if it's in the contract than just saying, oh yeah, I'll speak for free and then one day I'll follow up.
Yeah.
So that's one thing. The other thing is if you are doing as Helena said and selling from stage, it's really clear that the person who's the organizer of the event, that you agree commission totals before you're on stage.
Oh yes.
Right? So if you're selling a £1,000 course and they're getting 30% or whatever it might be, that needs to be in your contract. It needs to be things about refund policies, when that's paid, how that's paid, because these are the things that go wrong.
And support as well, you know, sort of like, so where people go for support so that they can take themselves out of the loop and you are in charge of all of that.
Then most of the time that isn't down to the organizer. They're providing the space for you to access their audience, but everything that's there is taken from them to you and held over. But it's their reputation on the line, right? So if you don't deliver and you're not good, then that's why they're going to want to check you out beforehand. And if you are doing some form of product with an event organizer, I would always somehow give the event organizer access to that product before you sell it. So if it's a course, maybe give them administration rights or login details to have a look at it. If it's a membership site, if it's a book, if it's whatever it is, give them something so that they're actually happy that what you're selling is good and good quality and legit. Yeah. You've also got something in your contract, which is your cancellation policy.
Oh gosh,
right?
yes.
Just as Helena was saying, your time is precious. You want to make sure that what happens if they cancel you 48 hours before the gig? Well, they weren't paying you anyway. So, well, the fact is you might have done your travel, you might have done this, but your time. Yeah. So you have to have some sort of compensation in your cancellation policy if they cancel outside of that window, which might be a financial thing for you to cover your expenses, to cover your time and the inconvenience calls. Yeah. And then that's another thing, if you are claiming for expenses, because most free talks, they don't expect you to travel to Scotland for free, then you need to make sure all the expenses are in your contract as well, how much you're charging per mile, what hotel rates are, if you're travelling internationally, all those types of things should be in your contract. Yeah. So what you've got here is, I mean, really, to get free speaking gigs, it's just about you doing the work. There is no secret to it. It's about you knowing your keywords, knowing how to build a relationship, rapport up with the event organizer, knowing how to stand out and what you're going to give, how to actually have that impression of your bio and your speaker show reel and your brochure and your content to demonstrate that you're going to be of value to their audience. Yeah. Then basically working out your contracts, and then having that research, as we said at the beginning, of all your keywords and where you're going to do. Yeah. Use the list we're about to give you now, 200 speaking platforms, and just spend, you know, really guys, it depends on what you're wanting this for, right? It depends how many gigs you want. Are you doing this because you want to be doing a free gig every week and that's part of your business plan? Yeah. Are you doing this for just 3 shows so you've got some footage for your show reel? Are you doing this because you want to build your new database of new avatar clients? So you want to have, like, I want to do enough speaking gigs until I've got 10,000 on my list. That's right. I can't tell you how many gigs you should be booking a week. You've got to know your outcome. Yeah. But the point is you're not going to phone one person on this database and get a gig. No. Right? Because and they might be happening next year. So you've got to pre-plan that. Yeah. How booked in advance are they already, right? You need to look ahead in order to do that. And so the bit that I was just sitting on my hands for is that actually this might be part of your metrics. So I know that if I do 2 speaking gigs per month, which is part of my business metric, then I get clients because I know what my conversion rates are. So there's something around, what do I, of course it is. Alex Merry, by the way. That's who it is. Graham, that's who the TEDx trainer is in our Connection Hub, Alex Merry. I'll tag him in the comments. Yeah, which is good. So there is something here about always going back to the why, and in a few weeks' time, when Kelly's away and I get to Facebook, I know, again, which is really good. We love holidays, and actually anyway, I won't go into one on that. So when Kelly's away, I'm actually going to take you through a process called the 4 intentions, which is a really great way of you
positioning yourself, deciding why you actually want to do something, knowing how to offer it through to a potential booking or booking agent that might do this for you, and then what you might well kind of decide to speak on. So I'm going to talk you through a lot of that in a few weeks' time, so we can kind of cross-reference these two. One of the key things really is that by now, you should have some thoughts about why you might want to do the promotional speaking and what it's going to do for you or what you would like it to do for you. We're saying that it's definitely something that's going to take a little bit of time and effort on your part, and it can be worth its weight in gold. As I say, as part of my own personal business metrics, speaking twice a month gets me the gigs because I know that it converts people through to wanting to work with me. Because by the simple act of showing up and sharing what I know and how I do that, people go, yes, I'd like to work with you, thank you. So this gives you the opportunity to really progress your business on your terms, which is all we ever talk about. So obviously, we like to give you some homework because that's who we be.
Yeah.
So go and so in order to help you do the homework, Kelly's going to. I've done it. She's already done it because I was talking. The link into the 200 plus places where you can actually go and look at, is this the right place for me to speak? So now your job is to go and pick out at least 3 that you would want to go and check out and go, actually, that would be a great place for me to start. For some of you, it might even be the step before that, which is to go back through some of these steps for us, knowing your audience. What is the audience I want to serve? What problems can I solve for them? What research do I need to do around actually getting the gig? Who do I need to speak to? Yeah. Then actually, how am I going to contact the event organizers and how am I going to position myself? So there's a whole bunch of stuff that you can actually do within that.
And bless Brett.
Yeah,
Brett just said he knows Alex, and he said that Alex runs TEDx Clapham, and they're already booked for June's events for speakers. So if you're looking to do a TEDx talk and want to contact Alex, he's going to be inundated now.
I know.
But you can do that, but you can see how quickly he gets booked up. And Brett, you've also put in there how people can find TEDx events for themselves. I think we've got that link in our spreadsheet.
I think we do.
Thanks for that, Brett.
Yeah, which is really good. And of course, this particular Facebook Live references the show reels Facebook Live that we did as well. So for some of you, it might be relevant to go back and actually look at that and go, what do I need to actually do? What might be the speaking gigs that I'm doing? Yeah. So, phew.
A lot to get through.
Wow. These are getting slightly longer.
I know.
We've got a lot to say. Hopefully that's been fantastically useful. Please pop a little hello sort of and a yes, I'm in into the comments, just to say, yeah, promo gigs, that's for me.
Yeah, definitely. We'll put the link, Joy, I know you're asking about the show reel. We'll put the link to our last Facebook Live where we spoke all about how to put a show reel together for speakers.
Yeah.
Let us know if you've got any questions, if you're catching this on the replay, guys. Yes, we always answer any of your questions. And I've put the link, so download your speaking platform, just go into the comments and you'll find it in there.
You're
welcome. If not, we will see you next week, next Tuesday.
We absolutely will.
Yeah. See you later,
Take
guys.
care.
Have a good one.
Bye.